The biggest story in baseball, in all of sports maybe, is this new rivalry, this Padres and Dodgers rivalry that we have. I was able to be in attendance 3 of the 4 games, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And look, it was an experience unlike anything that I've gotten to experience in the regular season. It was definitely the best regular season series I have ever seen. I've ever witnessed. It was awesome. So look, it had it all. It had incredible game-changing double plays. It had monumental milestones, and it had Tatis and his dad with a cool accomplishment. There was the Trevor Bauer and Fernando Tatis drama. There was extra inning drama. It had it all. It was awesome. But I kind of wanted to just walk you through my experience and being there and starting with game 1 on Thursday, just walking into Dodger Stadium. And I've written about in the past this series and how I think it's becoming a rivalry. And, I got some blowback from it, and this isn't a rivalry yet. Nothing's happened. Look, I am now here to tell you that this is a rivalry, and it is the best one we have in baseball, and it's possibly the best rivalry in sports right now. It's incredible. And you can feel it in the ballpark. And as much as Dodgers fans didn't want to admit this is a rivalry, you can feel it there. You can feel it. And man, it was awesome. And it started the first night, the energy, the tension was hot. And then it came later in the game, that Cronenworth double play, that was the turning point of the game there. Cronenworth's double play. You could feel the tension. You could feel it. You could feel the tension in the ballpark. You could feel the air basically release out of the stadium when that happened. And then game 2. So I was there again on Friday night, and Fernando Tatis Jr. hit 2 home runs. Now, we all know who I consider the emerging face of Major League Baseball, Fernando Tatis Jr., in my opinion. And this series, I think, put that out there, man. I think he has become the face of baseball. He hit 2 home runs Friday in Dodger Stadium. And you know what was really cool about that night? The significance behind it. So Fernando Tatis Sr., 22 years ago to that exact day, 22 years ago on Friday, became the only player in Major League Baseball history to hit 2 grand slams in the same inning. What? How? How's that even possible? One, but that's not even the whole point of this discussion. On that day, Fernando Tatis also hit 2 home runs in the exact same stadium that his dad hit 2 grand slams in an inning on the exact same day. So that was cool. But arguably not even the coolest thing Fernando Tatis did in this entire season, or series. We got to Saturday. I'm back. I'm back there on Saturday, and my credentials had me up in the press box to start the game. So I'm sitting in the press box, and Fernando Tatis leads off the game. Leads off the game with a homer and rounds the bases, and I'm like, I'm super pumped up for him. And then I see him do something on the bases. I'm like, what? What just happened? What? He did something. Whatever. That was cool. And then it starts getting passed around, and I'm looking on social media, and I see that Fernando Tatis covered one eye rounding the bases to troll starting pitcher Trevor Bauer. Now, for those of you that don't know what happened or why that is a troll, in spring training, Trevor Bauer decided to pitch with one eye closed. Whatever you think about that, it rubbed some people the wrong way. He pitched with one eye closed, and after the game, basically, in a nutshell, said, if I can get guys out with one eye, imagine how I can do with 2 eyes. So Tatis hits that homer, rounds the bases, covers one eye. I'm losing my mind. I'm losing my mind at this point, and I'm sitting in the press box, and it was awful. It was awful sitting up there. People are like, nah. They just don't get it. So I had to leave. I had to leave the press box, and I ended up going down onto the field, and I was down there for Tatis's next homer. I was right behind the dugout, right next to it. Tatis comes up to the plate, hits another bomb, walks down the line, ends up getting home, does the McGregor strut, another troll to Trevor Bauer, and I had chills in the stadium. It was so cool to watch, And I started seeing everybody saying, you know what, Trevor Bauer is going to be pissed. He's going to get hit. And I just, in my mind, didn't think that was true. And I want to throw it to Trevor Bauer's post-game interview real quick so he can get his thoughts on it, and then I'll dive a little more into that after this.
No, I want to say something about that because I think it's important. He did it in the first. I didn't see it because I was paying attention to doing my job, and then he did it again when he homered off me again later in the game. Their dugout was doing it, and I like it. I think that pitchers who have that done to them and react by throwing at people or getting upset and hitting people or whatever. I think it's pretty soft. If you give up a homer, a guy should celebrate it. It's hard to hit in the big leagues, so I'm all for it, and I think it's important that the game moves in that direction and we stop throwing at people because they celebrated having some success on the field.
We stop throwing at people because they had some success on the field. Look, I could not be more passionate about this. What took place in Game 3 of this series is what this show is all about. It's what I'm passionate about. It's what everyone wants to see. Look, Fernando Tatis, arguably the most exciting player in baseball, is up there. I think Ohtani's there too, but Tatis is one of the most exciting players in baseball, doing this on a huge stage in a huge series. I'm not kidding you when I say I had chills in the stands. I was in awe of Fernando Tatis playing baseball. I've watched thousands of baseball players throughout the course of my life play Major League Baseball. I was in awe watching Fernando Tatis on the field and watching him do this. And what Bauer said, look, he gets it. He gets it. It's not about showing up somebody. It's not about that. It's about having fun playing the game. Tatis has fun. When he has some success, look, I'm going to celebrate. You know what Bauer did when he had success in that game? He celebrated. That's what it's about. That's what makes this game fun. That's why I want to have a platform to talk about baseball, is because baseball is exciting. This sort of stuff is happening. It's happening, and we need to take notice of it. And I was just so thrilled to be there and to be at that game. And for that to be Bauer's response, I thought was really cool. He's kind of a polarizing figure in the game of baseball. But look, I think what he's doing for baseball is awesome. And I think that quote right there, that interview, and clearly he wanted to talk about it, is really big for the game. Really, really big for the game. And what we watched on Saturday night and what I got to witness in person was a monumental shift, I think, in the game that I know and love. Because, this has been the way baseball has been trending for a while, and it's guys celebrating and having fun. And for it to happen on that stage with Tatis, the young stud that just got the huge contract, against Trevor Bauer, the guy that is a polarizing figure, that's kind of the villain, if you will, of Major League Baseball. For it to happen in that situation, it was so cool, man. And to be able to witness that Saturday night was awesome. And then look, we get into the end of the series on Sunday, and it was 7-1. The Padres come back from a 7-1 deficit and end up winning in extra innings. The entire series has just been awesome. From game 1 of the year down in San Diego to this game on Sunday night. Incredible. And this is emerging as the best rivalry clearly in baseball. But I think it compares to some other stuff that we've seen. Look, I don't want to compare this to Yankees Red Sox because there's a lot of history there, and this series doesn't have that history. So this isn't Yankees Red Sox. But it's the most fun rivalry to watch in baseball right now, and it does remind me of some other rivalries in other sports. I think about the Cavs and the Warriors a few years ago when they had those back and forth battles in the finals. I think of the Colts and the Patriots, Brady Manning. That was a great rivalry we saw for a while. I think, look, this one doesn't have the history as with some of those other ones I just named, but it doesn't diminish the rivalry this is becoming and how exciting it is because, look, it's April. It's April. And people are tweeting up a storm about this game. People are yelling at their TVs. I got a text from my producer saying it's April and I'm already yelling at my TV. Baseball needs this, man. Baseball needed this rivalry. And we have it. It's the Padres and the Dodgers, baby. And it is the rivalry that baseball has needed for a long, long time. And I'm pumped we have it. I know I just made a strong statement that I think this rivalry is the best in sports, but look, think about it. Think about the other rivalries we have in American professional sports. I'm not talking college sports. I'm not talking soccer because those are kind of a different beast. I'm talking American professional sports. Think of the rivalries we have. Packers, Bears, that's been one-sided for years. The NFC East, Cowboys, any of those rivalries we got there, the NFC East has been a dumpster fire. Think about it. I mean, Pittsburgh Steelers and Ravens is an argument that is close. It's a great rivalry. But Padres, Dodgers, this is emerging as the best rivalry in sports. I really think it is. And it really, when you think about it, doesn't have a ton of competition around it. This series is awesome. And I'm really excited to watch it for a long time to come. I did want to get into another storyline from this past week, and it is the no-hitter that took place in Atlanta. Madison Bumgarner of the Diamondbacks facing the Atlanta Braves threw a no-hitter, but that did not count, so let me explain. It was a doubleheader, so it was a scheduled 7-inning game. The game was scheduled to be 7 innings. Madison Bumgarner threw a complete game, 7 innings, 0 hits allowed. It is not counted as a no-hitter, however. But look, I wanted to touch on this for a second. This game was scheduled to be 7 innings, right? You knew it going into it. He threw a complete game. It goes in the record books as a complete game. It does. It goes in the record books as a complete game victory for Madison Bumgarner. What it does not go in the record books as is a no-hitter. Doesn't count as a no-hitter, was not 9 innings. We don't count it. I very much so disagree. Very much so disagree. Now here's why. I think if it's going to be counted as a complete game in the record books, the game was scheduled for 7 innings, he threw 7 innings, this is a complete game. Great. I'm totally fine with that. It should also be counted as a no-hitter then. If you're going to count it as a complete game, you need to count it as a no-hitter. It's as simple as that. And look, I understand the side that says it shouldn't be a no-hitter. It wasn't 9 innings. I actually tend to agree with that. But you need to keep it the same. It can't count as an official complete game and not count as a no-hitter. In my personal opinion, it should not count as a complete game, and it should not count as a no-hitter. But if it's gonna count as a complete game, it needs to count as a no-hitter. And that is my opinion on the no-hitter that was not by Madison Bumgarner. Thanks for watching. If you love flipping bats, swinging 3-0, and just talking ball, hit that subscribe button.